You tell him! You tell him I'm coming! Tell him I'm fucking coming!
Straight out the Brooklyn basement. It's the GodMode Podcast. GodMode Podcast. GodMode Podcast. GodMode Podcast. GodMode Podcast.
Yo! Welcome back. GodMode Podcast, session 188. Only 2 months later, we're back in the fucking building. How you like me now? I got shout outs to give real quick and real first. Jamie Zeno, Daddy's Home Showcast. That's my G's. He's been on the episode many a times. Check him out here. And now go check his podcast out because I'm fixing to be the next guest on that sumbitch. Now my next one is going to be Jazz Blaze and Mark Blunatic of Bitch I Ride and No Filter Radio. You know what I'm saying? I've been going out to their events for Maniac Mondays out in Jamaica, Queens. Check that shit out if you're on 2 wheels. Hell, pull up on 4 wheels if you really want to. And my boys, Fraz Esports, Paulie, Stefan, Headshot Team. You know what I'm saying? Get it in and get it done. And of course, our major and parent company, the Mopai Corporation. The Mopai Corporation, where our business is sound itself. And there goes all of my sponsorship reels for tonight. Now, on to the good stuff. Not to say that they weren't good. Now, I got a songwriter, a musician, a composer, a performer, and an all-around wonderful person. My dear friend, Ellina Graypel. How are you?
Hello, hello.
Thank you for doing this.
It's really nice to be here, and this is really nice too, by the way.
You like it?
I
Our unofficial sponsor has changed. It's no longer White Claw. We are running with Smirnoff because we have Russians in the building today.
Well, yes. Well, actually, I'm Russian by accident. I didn't tell you this story.
A Russian by accident.
Seriously,
This is like
very serious.
Talk to me.
My parents are Ukrainians, and we lived in Belarus.
Okay.
So my mom got pregnant in Belarus,
Okay.
and we've been from Belarus all the time.
Right.
So my parents going on vacation to my grandparents in Russia,
Okay.
and I was born.
so you're a Russian really by accident.
I'm really Russian by accident. I only in Russia twice or 3 times in my life.
Right.
Once I was born. Second and the third time I was performing in Russia when I was
That was a big leap for you right there. Oh my
so
goodness.
when they call me Russian singer, I'm going totally Russian. Although I tend to call myself I'm from Belarus because
Right.
that's where I was raised.
So you're
and
Belarusian.
I am from Belarus, yes.
But you're also
Russian by accident.
Russian by accident.
Yes,
I
so
love
Smirnoff is a
it's something that we're very familiar with here. But that's so awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, who you are, what you do, and, you know, how you came to be here, out of all places, stuck in a Brooklyn basement with a rapper.
Well, it's nice to be stuck in a Brooklyn basement and
I'm not a rapper.
with an R&B rapper. So, I'm Ellina, and I had a really cool life. You know, I've been living a very cool life here in Brooklyn too. But back in the Belarus, I was like a teen celeb. You know, I was walking around playing concerts, but mostly I was a television host.
No
I hosted
shit.
a bunch of kids' TVs.
What?
Yes, and it was crazy because when I was little, you know, I didn't realize that I was like famous or anything. And the fact that, you know, the television was coming to my school constantly. And
For you specifically.
For me, because I was
How
performing.
cool is
So
that?
yeah, and then I didn't study nothing. I didn't study for anything because like I had no idea what math
You're
looks
famous.
like. I know, that's what my teachers were saying. You don't need to know math. So I grew up as the stupidest kid. Because I mean, I knew everything about, like, I love history, I love literature.
Right.
I was reading a lot, but like I was terrible in physics, chemistry, math. You know? Yeah, but like you want to study, you know.
Right.
Later on, you want to like know the calculus, and you want to, and so I grew up into this thinking, my God, how do I ever go to college?
Right.
You know, and of course you go to college when you're like known as a, you know, child celebrity. You go to college.
You go to any college.
They
at this
want you
point.
there.
Right.
But you don't want to go there as a stupido. You don't want to be like, you're there in college because you're like cool
Right.
and because you're talented. But you want to know something, you know.
So you think your celebrity actually hindered you a little bit?
Made me feel very stupid when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's also kind of lonely because, you know, the kids that you like, they don't want to talk to.
Well-
I mean, they do, but they're like, well, you know, you're
think,
like
do you
above
think they
us.
were nervous to talk to you, or?
I think they were just like, kids are kids, you know. Why would I want to talk to that person? She's, you know, on TV all the time. I want someone real.
I mean, not for nothing. If I had a child star in my school, I'd try.
Yeah, but those kids that were trying too hard, you don't want to talk to.
True.
And those people you really like.
There's
they're
a
like,
fine line.
Yes, there's a fine line, and you also don't have time for nothing.
Right.
You don't have time for real friends. You know, you don't have time to sit in someone's kitchen because you're on television all the time. You're working.
So tell me about that schedule. I'm curious.
Okay, so when I was a kid, I was I fell in love with the guitar. Like this was like I for some reason I play all the instruments. When I was a kid, I picked up everything and everything played. Like I picked up the piano.
Right.
I didn't really like the piano, but it played.
Right.
I picked up the violin. I played violin, but when I picked up the trumpet, my father asked me, he's like, sweetheart, and this is the only instrument I want you to put aside. No more playing on the with the trumpet. Because can you imagine the noise? And it was like making brr, brr, brr.
At
And
all odd hours of the night, I'm sure.
of course. So I played all the time. So it was like in the morning you go to school till about 12, and then the television was coming, and I was doing a show. So like from 8 to 12 I was in school,
Right.
and then all other times of the day I was away.
Just doing the celebrity thing.
Working, because like as a kid, and of course it was like a Belarus, so they pay you. You know,
Okay.
it was so I was getting paid more than my parents.
Sick.
Yes, I was like on the cabs all the time as a kid.
That's
you know?
so neat, though.
Yeah, and I felt like you know, you want money here. You know?
That is so cool. But like,
yeah.
how has it changed, got worse or better with the immigration?
So yeah, that was like real crazy because we lived in a big city, Minsk. It's like a capital,
Yep.
you know, working on TV.
Mhm.
And then my parents picked up and leave because because the situation got weird. You know, it was like right at the end of the like Soviet Union era,
Right.
and the democracy was really bad, and they just picked up and leave because it was a really crazy story too, actually.
Okay.
They told they have we have a family in the United States, and there's like a blah 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 World War II blah blah blah. So they had kids, and they were like asking kids, where do you want to stay?
Right.
And they didn't know anything in America except for Mark Twain.
Okay.
So they're like, Missouri, Mark Twain, Huckleberry Finn.
Right.
So my family, like their immediate initial family, they went to like Missouri,
Right.
and that's where they stayed. So their first Graypels, you know, not Graypel, but like whatever the Tabachnik family that I belong to, they assimilated in Missouri. So I come from this big capital of Belarus, where you know everyone knew me,
Right.
to a new city.
Right.
St. Louis, Missouri, the country city where
Yep.
there's like nothing. I mean, it's a beautiful city, but first you gotta speak English. You know, I'm a kid.
Right.
You know, I go to school, and of course at that time they put me like in English. They didn't really have English as a second language program.
Okay.
They had a special ed, so they put me in a special ed kid.
Shit.
I know, I had a really good time because like there was this boy coming to me who's like, do you have a boyfriend? And I'm like, man. Uh-huh. So it was like, it was really crazy to be in a special ed. Because, I mean, the kids were great.
Right.
And I guess we were totally at the same level. They didn't know how to talk to me. I didn't know how to talk to them. Because I had no English.
Right. Right.
But it was like eventually I had to speak English, you know, because, you know, I was an artist. I was an established artist by that time. And I'm coming into nothing.
Right.
Pretty much, like voiceless.
How did that make you feel? Did you feel like that it was overwhelming or more like a challenge?
It felt like I needed to come up with a voice. It felt like, I needed to do something to get that voice out of my heart, because I have a voice. I know I have a voice, but it's like I could never be silent, and I have to speak. And I'm coming with a big heart. I'm a incredible, I had this incredible heritage, because I'm from Belarus.
Right.
I was born in Russia, no kidding.
Right.
And there's a lot to talk, and I wanted to talk to American kids. I wanted to see what they are, who they are.
Right.
For that I needed to learn.
Right.
And so I started speaking. I started learning, and I picked up real quick.
How long did it take you to pick it?
Within a year I started speaking.
That's good.
And then I started to write.
Okay.
Because speaking and writing was the same thing for me. As soon as I started speaking, I started writing. I started putting in the words, putting in my guitar, put it in music.
Once an artist, always an artist, right?
And I didn't really imagine myself anything else. I'm a poet, I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter. I had to write.
Right. You had to continue.
I had to go. And so I started writing, and I had maybe 3 songs that I already written in English.
Okay.
And I was really, really didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
And my friend is this kid. He's from Trinidad.
Okay.
And in Missouri. So he's like, you have to meet my uncle. My uncles, they have this bar in Missouri, and on Mondays they have open mic. You just come and sing. So I picked up a guitar. I had my old Yamaha guitar then, and I was wearing this green, very bright coat. I love bright colors.
Right. Yeah,
so
that I've noticed.
I walked in, I signed my name. No, he signed my name. He came with me, signed my name, and I walked in the bar, and everybody's black. And I'm the only one that's white as a wall. Because I'm from Belarus, you know? I'm as white as a wall.
And you walked into a Trinidadian bar.
I walked into the Trinidadian bar. They look at me like what is that?
Like, who are you?
Like, who are you? The kid as white as a wall in a Trinidadian bar. And those were good artists.
Right.
Those were beautiful soul artists. They played really beautiful music. Like, totally not what what I was playing in Belarus.
Right. So it's a complete genre change.
Totally. But I'm there with my guitar on the open mic.
Yeah.
So I have to play it. Because what am I going to just stand there on the stage, being scared?
So you played them music that they haven't heard before.
I've played this song, yeah. I want to play the very first song that I've written in English.
Ooh, let's do this.
And so they're like, looked at me. I got on the stage. They were all talking. This bar was very loud. So I got on the stage and started singing. And more I sang, I felt like the room is getting quieter.
They were paying attention.
They were paying attention, and then they stopped talking. And then they start cheering for me. So more they cheered, more I wanted to sing. So that was my very first time.
So cool.
And that was my very broken English, but I'm gonna sing it.
Let's do this.
Every night I'm walking in my sleep. I don't know why, I just feel my pain is deep. My fears are coming to me, and all over I see eyes of a moonless night. And then I feel myself as a part of the world, like a child, but I'm a bird in the sky. And then I see my fears going away, and I'm telling myself, wake up and fly. Every day I'm rushing to my place. In my life, on that stage I have a street of rage where tears are coming to me, and all over I see eyes of a moonless night. But then I feel myself as a part of the world. I'm a child, but I'm a bird in the sky. And then I see my fears are going away, and I'm just telling myself, wake up and fly. And then they're like, yeah, and they start moving with me, because like this is the music from a pure soul, 17 years old, I guess. But what if it's time for me to go? If it is time for me to go, if it is my time to say goodbye, I'm flying from the world, holding my bloody sword, hoping that my soul should never die. And I'm free from memories, and I'm free from songs, and I'm free from people. I'm alive in my journey, in my journey, in my journey, in my journey. But then I see my mother's eyes, and I take my father's hands, and I'm going back to the innocence. And I take my children cry, and I take my people home, and I have to go back and change the world. 'Cause I'm not free from reason, I'm not free from songs, and I'm not free from people, I'm not alone. And then I feel like a part of a world. I'm a child, and I'm a bird in the sky. And I feel my fears are going away, and I'm just telling myself, wake up and fly.
I love it.
So
Love
so
it.
the whole audience just like light up.
Right.
They lit up. They start yelling. They start screaming, and it was like a horrible compliment. Like the guy come to me, he's like, "Yo, you make my dick hard."
Yes.
Oh
Yo!
man, what a compliment!
Not a compliment you were ready for, was it?
I was like, yeah, I was like 17, thinking, okay, man, thanks for sharing.
What age is that okay for?
Right. And he was like, oh, you're good, baby. You perform. You come back. So every Monday, I was coming back to that Red Sea. Then it turned out to be Ethiopian place, and all those people listened to my music, and I started performing and speaking more English,
Right,
and writing in English, and that's where it's all started. And then one day, I was mesmerized at the guitar. I mean, with guitars. I was just like, the guitars took my heart, everything. So every time I was going to school every day, and every afternoon I was going to the guitar store, playing guitars. It's like my toy store.
Sweet.
So finally, this owner of a guitar store, his name was Ed in St. Louis, he's like, Ellina, come with me for a sec. I gotta introduce you to, just come. So he took me to that place. It's called Blueberry Hill in Missouri. And the concert just finished, and he didn't tell me who was just playing.
Okay.
So there's this guys are standing with their backs, and he took me to the backstage, and he's like, hi guys, this is a great friend of mine. She's a crazy kid from Belarus. Right. Her name is Ellina Graypel. So the guy turned around, this older, black, beautiful, handsome guy. He was like, looked at me, and he goes, hi, I'm Chuck Berry.
Oh.
So I shook the hand of Chuck Berry, and I never left that room. So I kind of hang out with his son. His son inspired me because he was more rock and roll era. Chuck Berry's like rock.
The younger generation, I guess, that
and
carrying the
he played
mantle.
Chucky Berry, the son Chucky Berry, Charles, but Chucky he called him. He played like crazy, but he played on his electrical Fender, not Stratocaster, not what his father was playing on this big blues guitar,
Right.
but like the but the kid was amazing. You know, Jackie was amazing. He was inspiring for me.
Right.
Because, I mean, he was older than me, but he was more like, you know. Like
of your age group, more
of the age group compared to, you know, this.
Compared to Dad, sure.
You know, but that was like, I went to all of their concerts, singing with them, and just enjoying the presence of the god of rockabillys, you know, of Chuck Berry.
Right.
And then I grew up, you know, and then at the concert, I've met this, since I was there all the time, I've met this woman. She's like, she was kind of like a manager. She was just a really cool chick, you know. She was playing bongos. She was very, very. She was Native American.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's really cool looking with this long hair and feathers. She looked kind of European, but she was Native American, proud of her Native. She kind of looked Native American, but like a mix with everything else, like the whole America is, you know, mix of everything else, you know.
Exactly.
So she comes and she's like, Ellina, you're fun. Your music is interesting. You're very different for American ear. So why don't you perform more? Why don't I sign you up with the concerts and maybe record an album? And it was like, easy. So I recorded my very first album. I picked up all the best St. Louis musicians, and they loved working with me because at this point I was all over them. Right. You know, they
were hanging out with them already.
They thought of me as a crazy kid, and they loved my music. You know, they were playing my unusual for their ears rock and roll. Right. You know, because you know it's more like a European rock.
Right,
you know,
because it was something new for them too.
They had a lot of fun, you know, because I was playing poor, but I was playing a lot of energy, with lots of energy, and so all the St. Louis musicians put together this comradeship, and I had my very first CD called Newborn Light, so I produced it and I mean, they all played on it. It was just incredible feeling to like hold my very first CD. But
with the guys that you had on there, I think it's even more monumental because you had the best hands for each instrument.
Yes, I was like, and I love music. I have a feel for music. Right. And it was like a lot of incredible artists. There was a flute and a saxophone, an amazing guitar player that I lost last year to the opium. I pray for him almost every day. I love my Josh Cohn. You know, he was fighting this addiction all of his life, and I guess he didn't make it.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, we lost him last year. It was just terrible feel. He was such an amazing. He called me a kid. He was like a little older. And I have him on all of my CDs. Well, most of my CDs now. We played for many years together, and I flew him to New York from Missouri.
No kidding.
He has this cute country. He used to have this really cute country accent, Josh. You know.
Okay.
So I love my Josh.
Well, I think you've immortalized him now. That he has played with you, and he's on so many projects. That his name will definitely live on. You know.
I'm definitely, as long as I'm living, my Josh is with me. And so the CD was like awesome, and they set me up with a gig, and it was like Borders Books and Music.
Okay.
So I figured, you know, they put it in the Borders Books and Music, and I was like, called the main office, and I said, hey, yo guys, you sell my CDs. Wouldn't it be like more productive if I play there too in all of your cafes? And they're like, why not? So I set up gigs in all the Borders Books and Music across the United States.
What? So you got a tour now.
I got a tour. So I'm going in my little Mazda Miata convertible, stick shift.
Yes.
From like Missouri to Illinois. From Illinois to like upstate New York, from upstate New York to Ohio, from Ohio to Colorado. Right. So it's like my Mazda Miata. I had like 300,000
mileage on that.
Some mileage. Yeah.
Crazy.
So, but I've played music everywhere. I learned that in America there are cities like Normal. With Normal Police Department and Normal High School. In Illinois, there's a city called Normal. And they're all really, I mean, really, really, really crazy looking. Because
anything but normal.
Anything but, I mean, they're too normal for themselves, you know? And I've learned so many incredible, like, places, and I met so many amazing people, like, in Buffalo, New York. It's just, like, crazy things, you know? And then on September 13th, 2001, supposed to play in New York. And it was a Borders Books in Music in Twin Towers.
Oh boy.
And I've never been to New York before that. So I was excited to see the New York.
Right.
But there was, by September 13th, there was no Borders Books in Music.
Right.
So so I called in and I said, okay, so just put me in a different location. I'm still coming. And they said, okay. So they put me to another location in the city. Right. And I came. And I was like, the whole city was so depressed. The city was on fire. Yeah. Everyone's were like so down, like emotionally down. They were so upset. Yeah. And my music is like fun and active.
I think music heals.
Right. So I remember them sitting in the coffee shop, like they're not like so disconnected. Like now, like the world now is disconnected. This is really messed up to have a disconnected world because the human being's supposed to connect. Right. You know? So they were so disconnected, sitting away from each other, like in New York, right. You know? And I was like, and of course the goofiest things started happening. I mean, I was playing, and I have, when I'm at the concerts, I have a lot of props, right. You know, that I use. Like I have this I was saying about things, and I use like have them, you know, for the sound. Like right. there's this little telephone that, you know, that I make ring right. for the for the
sound
beat,
effects,
for
right.
the sound effects, a whole bunch of stuff. So. Right. I'm singing, and then I see that people light up. Like they want to hear. New Yorkers just want to be alive. This is not normal for them. They're right. so depressed, right. and they come to me and they're like, "You make us feel so normal." And of course, more accepted I am, more goofy I get, right? Because I really love performing. I really love being on the stage. Right. So here we go. This telephone that meant to be for the sound effect. You know, I press the button, and if I tried it like any other time, none of this would ever happen. Right. It only happened in New York. So the phone from my hand jump up like you did that salto mortale in the air, you know, and somehow landed right behind my brow right here.
Nice.
So the people are like, what the hell is that?
So now you got to press right here.
Yeah, like, and it's still ringing behind my brow. So it's like, so... The audience is in tears. I'm in tears. We're playing. At the end of it, they come to me, give me hugs, and saying, "Thank you for making me feel like normal. You know, like you're really making me feel good right now." Right. But at that time, I was like, at this point, I'm like thinking, New York needs me. You know.
So you decided to stay.
I couldn't stay because I was under contract. Right. But then in 2004, when I finished my contract, I came to New York and I stayed, and then I had to leave because I signed another contract. Musicians gotta eat. We have to work.
Yes.
So.
And you're an actual musician who makes a living off of this, and that's a great distinction.
Have to work.
Right.
So I had to go, and since I slowed down on touring, you know, now I'm touring, but then I slowed down because at that time, you know, I was in between contracts. Right. And the contract, I mean, what is the contract? Contract is like you sign a contract with this company, right. You work for them for like 6 months, and then you sign a contract with that, blah, blah, blah.
And they provide the venues for you, is that what it is?
Some of it depends on the yeah. They provide the venues, and they take the money off of you.
Of course. That's aside the point.
Right. It was like sometimes I was like coming to the shows, and I see like 300 people in front of me, and I have a flat fee of so and so money, and I calculate $20, 300 people how much they made, and how much I made. Right. And I was thinking, I'm really not working. This is really not working. This is really crazy calculation.
You're working,
but they're really working. I'm like really. But it's okay. I mean,
did it make you think of starting your own production company?
I have started my very own production company.
Based off of that thought, or just
in yes,
general?
Based off on that thought. And I've been my own manager ever since.
Right.
Not ever since, but most of the time.
Right.
Although in different countries I can't be my own manager.
Why not?
Yeah. I don't know that country.
So you just need a local company.
Right. So like I have a distributor that distribute me all over the world.
Right.
So they distribute me in all the countries. Nobody knows me in France. You know,
Not
nobody,
yet.
They're not even just like friends. No, they are artists, you know, and their own, and but they sell my music. So for that, I need a local companies that just kind of like hey now and
They know the way around their market.
Yeah, show it to sell me all over, because you know you get to make money.
Yes.
And you got to be sold.
If you're gonna do this for real, then you know that's, I think, the biggest thing, I guess, is to be comfortable. But you know, as a musician, it's hard to be comfortable, because, as we know, to be comfortable, you have to get paid.
You do.
More than you need.
You gotta get paid. Smirnov?
To the money. To the money. Na zdrowie, but to the money. We want the money.
We want to be comfortable. Mm-hmm. And the comfort level is to each is their own.
Right.
But you want to have certain things.
Of course.
Yeah. And it's normal. It's normal to demand, you know, for what you really need, for what your band is needed. So it's okay.
If you don't ask, you won't get.
Exactly. So I've been in New York, hanging out, and then on the concert, you know, New York is very diverse. And just like to that concert, there's just like one woman came to my concert, and I was playing, and she comes to me, and she's wearing a fur coat. Like in New York, a fur coat.
Yep.
So she comes to me, and with a heavy accent, she goes, "I know you from Russia.
Wow.
You have to be from Russia because you have such a beautiful soul. Do you have any Russian songs?" And I'm like, man, I don't. I have to write some because I need to write some Russian songs. You know, I do have a soul, you know, and so I figured I'm gonna start writing. But if I do something, I have to do it right. So I always wanted to write poetry.
Right.
This was my goal. This was like my calling when I was a child. When my mom was asking me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said poet, you know, always. I didn't want to be anything else. But it was like, in order to write in different languages or in Russian per se, you have to have an incredible vocabulary, because it's a language
very
of
rich.
Dostoevsky. Yes, it's a language of a great poet, great writers.
Right.
So I went to Hunter College and picked up some poetry. And then I start dating all the Russians that I can. To
market research.
To do that, yes. And then I just start talking, meeting people, introducing myself, getting friends, more friends, you know, finding out how incredibly diverse, you know, like Russia is, because there's like Asia, and there's so many Asian people, and everyone speaks it.
Right.
And then I came to the realization that my culture is very cool. You know, although that I'm accidentally was born in Russia, it's very...
You're accidentally cool on top of this.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. So I started writing, and I gained a lot of Russian... a lot of people, Russian kids, started liking what I do.
And this is here in New York?
In New York,
okay.
Yeah. So became sort of kind of like a, you know, everyone knows me again, you know? I'm not a teen celebrity anymore. I'm just Ellina.
You graduated to celebrity.
Yeah, for Russians.
Yeah.
For Russians, you know, younger generation. Because there's a lot to say, you know? There's a lot to do. And so everyone knew me. And I figured, you know, there's a lot of kids, you know, all over United States that have Russian language behind them, but they need to know their roots.
Okay.
So I signed up with another management company. This time it was Russian, and I asked him to send me to colleges, send me to travel, and he did. So I went to all over the United States again, but this time I went with my Russian compositions with my Russian song.
Crazy is that?
And it was really cool because I've met kids that like second, third generation, like you know, who wanted to speak it,
Right.
but they didn't know how.
Right.
Who kind of wanted to see their heritage, where they come from, you know, because like you said, America is all about the immigrants, the
Right.
beauty of it. you
We're
know?
all from somewhere else.
Yeah,
All
and
of
it's a
us.
great thing. You
Yes.
know, however we got here, it's a land of immigrants.
Yes.
You know, and it was like all of that overwhelmed me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna be performing now in all sorts of languages, just because that would be the way to inspire people. But there was another reason why I wanted to come to New York, because you know, for all the artists, it's like the alma mater of where you want to play. You know, it's like that places.
It was actually part of what I wanted to ask you. I mean, was it, not to cut you off, but like to add to it, has being in this city shaped who you are as a musician, to any sort of degree, let's call it?
It shaped me as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in musician, person comes first. All of these emotions that we do in music, all of this stuff that we do in poetry, person comes first.
Right.
If you're a shitty person, you're
You're
still going to be a very talented musician,
Right.
but your accents are going to be just the way that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like if you have a lot of anger in you, you're just going to do these accents in your art.
Right.
If you're trying to say something, you will say it.
Mm-hmm.
And it will project exactly who you are.
Right.
So New York shaped me to what as a person,
Right.
you know, and as a person, I shaped into my music. You know,
Right.
I radiate. You know,
Okay.
so New York inspired me to just to have another. It's like another piece of my heart. It's my
Right.
love.
Right.
You know, so now when all of this crazy stuff going on to New York, I was like, this is my love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people are messing with my love.
Right.
You know, like all of this governmental goofiness that's going on right now, all of this stupidity,
Yeah.
you know, all of this crime, all of this craziness. People are messing with my love.
Right.
You know, I don't know how much we're gonna take, because people are messing with our love.
And that's not only New York. We're talking the whole country at this point, because
Yeah.
like, you know, I share the love for the city, but I share the love for the country, just for what it stands for. And when I'm seeing, you know, my country being divided in front of me, where the lines have been drawn and now everything has to be politicized, and you know, the one word cliches are now who we follow. And you know, when we get our politics from social media, it's like, you know, the division between politics and life has absolutely dwindled, and it's now a big game show.
Right.
And it's bothering me personally, because as Americans, I know Americans are going to get, they're at that point, like, but when Americans snap, I feel bad for everybody on Capitol Hill. I feel bad for all of you, because we're going to come and we're going to take it back, and there's nothing you can do about it. So
Right.
the suggestion is, play along, talk to me nice.
We're people.
Right?
We're people, and I love America. America is my country.
Right.
We're people. Nobody. Just what is this? Why? How is it? We always divided on our differences,
Right.
and that is an amazing reason to be close to each other, because we're so divided,
Right.
and we're so unique, and unique is good.
Right.
Unique is we embrace unique. We don't embrace I'm better than you.
Right.
You know, if you know, in my culture, everyone's better than me. You know, that's like part of what people say.
Right.
You know, but no one can be better than me,
Right.
because we're not better than each other.
Exactly.
We're incredibly different.
We're
know?
individuals.
We're amazing individuals,
Right.
and I would, you know, I would not take this. I would not take this. People cannot divide. They only divide on good and bad. And I think people that are doing a crime, they don't have a race, because none of the race should accept them, you know. Like, they cannot accept them, you know. None of the race could accept bad. They should just kick it out of their race. So we have like a race of thieves, race of like people that are like killers. That would be their race, and that race, I would definitely divide myself from that shit. I would divide myself so bad, because I want them divided from me, far, far away, because I am not going to tolerate that. You know, that's something that I don't want to tolerate. My race, any race, should not tolerate that. You know, and if my mother would love me no matter what, I would ask her, don't love me if I kill someone like that. You know, if I kill someone for good, if I have to protect myself, if I have to protect my something that I love, my family, if I have to protect, and if I have to kill someone, I will kill someone. You know, if that comes to it.
But you see, we're on that topic. We're on a very we're at the edge of a philosophical ocean, big time. Because like, I understand where you're coming from. Take all the bad people, bunch them up, put them somewhere.
To jail, preferably.
It would be nice, but the reality is, the deeper picture is why. Now, grant you, there's a certain percentage, in my belief, that are just, there's nothing you can do for them. They're born loopy, they stay loopy, and, you know, unfortunately commit something that gets them committed. But there are, like you said, there's people who are trying to protect themselves that wind up doing something, or people that do stuff out of desperation or addiction, like addiction that was not even their own, because, you know, when we look at like the pain pill epidemics, you know, these people didn't know they were going to become heroin addicts. They just took a pill, and then that caused them, you know, to do bad things. You know what I mean? So it's, in a way, I understand. Like, if I would say this to I guess to sharpen your idea up. Once we know that you are who you are, then we're going to put you into a certain category, you know, and then we're going to put you on a pedestal and shoot you in the fucking head. You know what I mean?
But
so.
It's just, yeah, you're right. I guess you're right about being said that we got to find how we get there. But if you get there already, you know that we're there.
So it's the root causes. What I'm saying is, like, I think that's what the government and, you know, maybe even the 1%ers, you know, what they're actually afraid of is us finding the root cause and starting to repair that. Like, I've been an advocate for education for the longest time, to the sense where the standards of American education are nowhere near to some of these countries. I look at Japan. The way they educate their kids, just the way they systematically figure out what those kids like, what they're good at. You know, the first few years of school is not even lessons. They're just they're teaching you to respect the school, respect the teacher, be cleanly, and that's how they're bringing kids up. And our system is outdated because all our schooling is for button pushers. You know, how do I do this job? And now I have this education for this job. It's the wrong way to look at education, and again, a root cause. And I don't see anything being done and it all being swept under the rug. Like, yeah, it's fine. Keep them dumb. You know what I mean? And
I have another crazy thought that I just ran onto. Like, it's really odd. I just my friend is taking classes online. She's studying some computers, like some 3 months, some computer language, right, you know, right. And she's taking a certification, and she's saying that with that certificate, they start the salaries at 60,000. So I was thinking, she's gonna be in school for 3 months. Mm-hmm. She's gonna get out, and she's gonna get a job testing some computer bullshit right. for $60,000, right. which is probably very needed. Yes, I'm sure. But like, man, I'm thinking of people that go to school for 4 or 5 years, yeah. bachelor degrees, and they spend like they like the nurses. Yeah. You know, they start at 40. Right. And they go to school for 5 years to become a nurse, you know?
It's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Right. And then 3 months of this education, certificate, and they go into this they're gonna test whatever this site working, this site not working, this letter, this font is bad, this is good. What's up with that?
Right.
What's up with this? What kind of education is that? They're gonna go for 3 months.
Right.
They're gonna study something that the other person is really working hard on study. Medical assistants. How can life would be without like medics, without people that are scientists? They go college professors.
Sure.
They make nothing.
Right.
Teachers
make
nothing.
Right.
They start from nothing.
Right.
Even like they start with nothing,
right.
and they're supposed to do the public service, and that drives me crazy, man.
Me too.
They just as an artist, I think the first position of an artist we have to have a position. Like I started, we have to have a voice.
Right.
We have to be able to figure it out. What is it we're seriously standing behind?
Right.
And if we don't have it, then we better find it.
This is true. Because then you'd be to be a neutral artist, I don't even know what that is. It's like, do you have, it almost sounds like a lack of passion at that point. Pick a side.
Right.
Get happy or get angry. Do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they say artists should not be political. And there's a truth there's a truth behind it, because you want to relate to all the people.
Right.
But in nowadays society, political is like you have to be political to have your own voice.
Right. But you're an artist, but you're still human. You have
Right.
your opinions on what's going on, and it's, you know what I mean?
And it sucks. It sucks.
A little bit.
Yeah, it sucks right now.
But to be real with you though, don't count us out, because any good stock market does this. So we may be down here right now, but then there's always the curb, and then we're gonna go up. It's just the way it's gonna happen.
I believe in America, and I totally believe in New York. I totally believe in New York.
Best city in the world.
Best city in the world.
I don't care what y'all say.
Yeah, we gotta come together.
Right.
We gotta come together. I walk around and I see how people react on me. Black, white, Hispanic, whatever.
And what's the reaction most of the time? 9 times
Nice
out of 10.
hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like nice hair, man. It really suits you.
Right,
and
right.
and it's really really cute.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Well, New Yorkers see everyone. If you're not from New York, this is a public service announcement. Most of us sound like dicks. Like dicks. But if something should have happened, most people will jump up and help you right there and then. Like, from my experience in this city. So don't judge us by our cover. We are just too diverse. We have every single language in this city. Like, people say, like, if you want to see America, come to New York. Agreed. But then when us New Yorkers leave, they know we're from New York right away. You walk too fast. You do things you talk too fast. You talk with your hands. And then when you say, anything with an accent, oh, you're from New York, right? And I like to make it worse. I go, no, I'm from Brooklyn. Oh, wow, people get shot out there. I'm like, dude, this is not the 80s, man. This is not the 80s. We're more gentrifying than shooting anyone at this point. We're raising the rents, dude. I don't know. But in essence, I think our whole country needs to drop this Democrat and Republican shit. Like, and the minute you say that, the first thing they'll tell you is, oh, so you want to be a socialist?
Oh, that's right.
You want to be a communist? You want to be a commie? But it's not. Socialism is not communism, first of all. Second of all, you're part of society. Socialism actually works for you. Because if you're looking at it from a politician's point of view, yeah, socialism is bad. We're giving shit away for free. But what if you're giving an education to somebody, for example, that really wants it? So I know the first thing they'll say, people just start going to college for free and then, this and this and that. But yeah, but what if it's that one kid who could never afford it And from that, he becomes the next Elon Musk. You know, like, we're skipping those opportunities that should be given, at least, you know, and there's not enough grants, and, you know, it's just, it doesn't work well enough for me to say that that we're really putting the best and brightest minds who want to learn. And most of the time we think of education as a chore.
I think we should just have something with agenda. Someone with agenda. You know, the agenda that would just not be great again. You know, the one that will give
too
real
simple.
Facts.
It's too simple.
The one that say, I want to do this, and how.
Right.
And not thinking that we're not idiots.
Right.
You know, America, we're not idiots. You tell me it's gonna be great. You ask how.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why? What are you gonna do for it?
Show us some numbers.
It's not just gonna get great.
Yeah.
Overnight. It's not gonna get great for no reason. You know.
First of all, define great.
Yes. What is great?
Exactly. It's
and,
it's like normal.
Making something great again.
What was it before?
Right.
Why is it not great now?
Now and don't tell me it's gonna be great. Show me how. Give me actions. And the actions are so all over this world right now. I see the actions. Those actions I don't like.
Yeah.
You know? So don't tell me great things. Don't give me emotions. I am an artist. I can give emotional like there is no tomorrow. I can give so many emotions.
And you can read other people's emotions, can't you?
I
and
project and I feel, you know, we feel so much.
Right.
So what I want is I want actions, I want facts, I want to see things, I want to, if I see things that are bad, I need them changed. Right. You know, and they say, oh no, we can't change it because there's like people get on my way and they're messing me up and they stopping me from doing the right thing. Right. Okay, those are words, you know, and it's just like right now it sucks in the entire world because like my heart is half broken too. Right. Because although that I was born in Russia, I'm from Belarus. Right. You know. And
what's going on out there? There's stuff going on out there now.
Oh my God, so just to give you the general what Belarus is, they call it White Russia. Yeah. And the reason white because in Russian it means pure. Right. You know, and pure means those people never fight. Never. It's like when Mongols, you know, the Tatars were like fighting over Russia. You know, Belarus somehow, with the way the politics were, they were able to talk themselves out
of a conflict with both sides.
So
nonetheless.
So my country, the country I'm from, originally is always settles with the politics. Never have a conflict. Never. It doesn't conflict. Right. So it's like in Belarusians' blood. Right. You know, you don't conflict, you don't fight. Right. You go politics ways. Right. The only time that my country really fight, and it really didn't fight. There was a partisan war where the World War II came and Nazis and all, you know.
So everyone was trying to do their part.
Yes, so they were partisans and they were brutal. Right. You know, because people from Belarus, they wanted to, they most of the times want to do the right thing. Right. And if somebody come and invade your family, what are they gonna do? They're gonna fight. Right. They're gonna fight their way. Exactly. They're gonna go under and they're gonna partisan and kick their asses. But speaking of a peaceful, you know, the Nazis came to Belarus and they picked up the entire villages of Belarusians and Jews and burned them. Right. So there's so many reasons why Belarusians wanted to fight Nazis, and they did. Right, you know, but underground, never like, there were people that never have a confrontation. Right. So, right now, what happens right now? The world suck. You know, they had an election, and we have a tyrant in action right now in Belarus. He was there for 27 years. He wanted to keep the power. Right. So, he arrested pretty much everyone who wanted to vote, like who even put their candidates on there to vote for.
So he arrested all the candidates that were going to go against him.
So one of the housewives.
So why even have an election?
Right. So that's just like, there's no one runs against me. I'm just me. Right. Which is, the hell is that? So one of the housewives.
There's a tyranny.
Yeah. One of the housewives of one candidate, she said, My husband is in jail, but I'm not.
Mm.
So I'm going to take his place. I'm gonna stand in his. I'm gonna
On his behalf.
With his agenda.
Right.
I'm going to bring my candidate as I'll be a candidate for the election.
Right.
For the presidential election.
And they allowed that?
Why not? She was born in Belarus. She has no criminal record. She's not in jail.
Mm-hmm.
They were allowed her.
Huh.
And she went all over Belarus and talked to the people,
Right.
and saying this is not fair that my husband was put in jail for his agenda to change things.
Right.
And people are disappearing, and the person that's in charge of our country does not care for us. There was a COVID. Belarus was the only country that did not close. At all. People were on the street without masks. Nothing was enforced. They were getting sick.
God.
They were dying, and it wasn't closed because the Belarusian president believed that what really kills COVID is vodka.
Oh, is that right?
He made so many statements about it that you have to drink vodka and then everything will go away.
Now all those memes make sense.
Yeah.
Because I saw a bunch of memes and videos of Russians, especially Belarusians, sitting there going, "We have the cure. It's right here." This boy pours a glass this big. Like, if y'all don't know how, like, real Russians from Russia drink, it's scary.
They drink.
It's scary, okay? Because I can't, like, I could drink, okay? You've seen me drink enough on here. But I'm talking a rock glass full is one shot. It'll be like, glock, 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 done.
That's like Russians can drink.
Yo.
Russians can drink.
Yo.
Yeah.
I think we got the Irish in the bag, even.
Something like that. I never thought about it. Just a different drink, different liquor.
Well, it's either Jameson or vodka, but I mean, like, I've drank with some Irishmen and I've drank with some Russians. I fear the Russians the most because, the last time I went to a Russian's house was over Passover. Actually, a Ukrainian friend of mine. And I brought a bottle of Jameson. My mistake. And I remember waking up in bed. That's what I remember. And the person I was with had a lot to tell me the next day in the form of videos and pictures of how they brought me home. And it was only because the way that they drink. It's because, first of all, we drink shots. We don't drink mixed drinks or nothing. So now we're doing shots of Jameson, and I'm not eating. My friends tell me you should eat something. I'm like, yeah, because I was trying to, new people and everything. And this guy does not give a shit. He's pouring, and he was a big old boy, Okay. And then I woke up here, and I was like, oh, I think I have some explaining to do. And then people were telling me in segments about how I got home, how I almost got hit by a car getting out of my car.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
you were
right?
driving?
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Do not drink and drive, okay?
Oh man, no.
Do what I say, not what I do, okay? But yeah, I drove home with this person in the car, and they were, I'm not going to mention their names, and they were talking to their friend from overseas, and they mentioned something about marriage, completely separated from me. But at that time, I went through a divorce about a year ago. So the last word on my mind was marriage. Okay? So, and this...
Be careful what you're going to end up with, the Jameson.
Well, that's...
Good thing you were in Vegas, not in Vegas.
True. If I was in Vegas, they got drive-through chapels over there. But the reality is, this poor person, they just said the wrong thing, and I wasn't there anymore because I don't remember to drive home. So what they were talking to was my unconscious reptilian mind. So the minute the word marriage came about, I'm like, yeah, just not me. The person on the other line is, who the fuck is this man? And what are they saying to you? Why are they being mean to you? And yeah, a lot of apologizing, and I had to take a couple of hits. You know what happens when yous get mad. You know. So, drinking with Russians.
Yes.
Be careful.
So that's happened in Belarus, and so she went all over Belarus and talked to people about her husband's agenda, about what she is, and about the fact that Belarus needs change. This is not acceptable.
Right.
And a lot of people believed in her, so they voted
Right.
for her.
What?
Exactly.
She won?
It would have been so nice. But in Belarus, no one can win except for the president. So they falsificated their
How's
election.
that real?
Well, they
What's-
could.
Again, what's the sense in having an election? It's just because it just becomes, on the world scale, it becomes a joke.
So, a lot of people felt that it was unfair because they voted for her, and it showed that the president got 80% of the votes. So if it was like 60, or at least like something,
A close margin.
because a lot of people voted for her, and everyone got up, stopped working, and went on the streets. But see, people from Belarus, they don't fight. So they brought flowers, and they stood outside with flowers.
But that's so awesome.
Yeah, hundreds and thousands of people.
How do you fight someone with flowers? You don't.
Yeah, well, they did. They picked up the guns. They started beating people up. They put them in jail. They torture. They kill people that given them flowers. Innocent people from Belarus, and
That's so
they're
terrible.
just standing on the street in front of them because they don't fight.
That's such a
People don't fight.
it's hypocrisy.
And they're killing them. They torture. Like, people are covered in blood. They arresting them. They arresting people. They torture people. They put grenade in their pants to see. Where who is organizing
where their
these,
supporters are.
Yeah. And it has to stop, because people just want a fair election.
Right.
Just fair election. I don't know what the agenda for these reformatives. I don't know whether it would be better for Belarus or not, because I haven't read agendas. And the Belarusian president, he was president for a long time, so he had the agenda, and he's done a lot of positive things amongst the negative things to the country.
Right.
But this has to stop.
Right.
What is this torturing of innocent people that bring flowers
Right.
and give hugs, and they go on the protest, they dress up beautifully, they go in the beautiful outfits, and they dress up to go on the protest.
Right.
They stop working. So on past Saturday, 200,000 people went on the street. 200,000 people. My whole country, Belarus, has 8 million population.
Right.
So 200,000 people
lot.
were on the streets of Minsk, and all the cities are on fire. But they're not fighting. People are not fighting. The government is fighting them.
Right.
So it has to stop, And it would be what I think is important to have a fair election. So it needs to be a re-election.
Right.
This needs to.
Do you think they're gonna?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. My heart is broken because I know how sweet Belarus. I went to Belarus.
Right.
I went to Belarus last year, and it was really crazy. I was supposed to represent Belarus on Eurovision. It's a big European music competition.
Right.
And last year I went to compete, and they asked me to find out. There's a lot of politic things that they asked me to do. So I did. I've done a lot of politics things, because in order to represent a country, you have to at least have things that have ties with the country, or at least prove the ties with the country. So they found out my proofs with the country, and actually it's really cute, because since I was a teen celebrity, some of my artifacts from my childhood is still in the museum of Belarus. So they found it. Yes, it was really crazy.
That
it was
is
really
awesome.
So when I went to Belarus, I saw people that knew me since I was a child.
Right.
It was just like give me like eerie feeling.
And they still remembered you.
They still remember me. They remember me on television. I came in, they're like, "Oh my God, I worked with you when you were little." It was really insane. But the people are great.
Right.
They don't they're so sweet. From Belarus, they're so sweet. I mean, I'm sure they have some kind of crime, but they don't really.
Right.
You know, they really don't.
Mm-hmm.
They just people don't even have domestic fights because it's not in the Belarusians' bloods. It's not in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So this has to, when this slaughter of the innocent people who bring flowers happens,
Right.
I feel very passionate about this. This has to stop. So on Saturday, and if, guys, if you have on Saturday, last Saturday, in front of the United Nations, there was a peaceful protest, and everybody were there. And this Saturday is going to be another one.
Okay.
So people just come and help.
What time?
I believe they start at. Let me see. I think they start at 3, something like that. It's across the street from United Nations, so it's like a 2nd Avenue and. 2nd Avenue and like 47th Street.
You guys know where the United Nations are. Do me a favor, come out and support. You know what I'm saying?
They're beautiful. Like people from Belarus, they really are beautiful.
But it also takes a lot of guts in a country like that that's so restricted, let's call it, especially politically, for people to march in the street. It takes a lot of guts, you know, to actually do that and say, like, I don't give a shit what happens. Unfortunately, what did transpire was pretty shitty, but I'm sure it's not the end of the protest.
Right. And they beat up women with flowers, you know, children that are on the street. They're just, because they're army, and they're not even Belarusian army. They're army of people that were hired to.
So they're mercs.
They're definitely mercs, yes. And it's just, it drives me crazy just to have just the thoughts of it, you know.
Yeah.
I can imagine what it's just like a. I am so with those people, and they send me, like, people from Belarus that I know. They send me videos and pictures and how they're standing on the street with flowers, and it's just so beautiful. And they all dressed up in white, you know, pure colors, you know. Just, so that it takes a lot of emotions. Like, the world sucks, but the good people are somehow making it better in this world for all of us. You know, the world's really, really sucked right now.
Well, I mean, yes, but I think it's just a time of change for the world. And as we know, whoever has been through change, most of it is painful. But there was always some versions of, you know, protesting going on. These are just the important ones within our lifetime, within our generation. And I think it has almost a reflection about the protests that are happening here. Now, granted, it's not about elections, but it's about, you know, people's rights and fair treatment and, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement and, you know, everything that was going on, which is compounded by a pandemic, which is pretty crazy. I think there's a lot of frustration in the air, and I think that's why a lot of the stuff is going on. But nowhere near close to when, you know, we complain about our elections, you know, like we have November coming up, and honestly, I'm worried.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not worried about who wins. I don't give a shit. What I know is, no matter which side wins, there will be blood. That's what I'm fearing for, and where I'd hope that we would actually, that part where we say come together, right there. At least don't let your political beliefs, you know, differ you from your brother or your sister or your friend. You know, like nowadays I can't even talk politics.
Right.
Somebody wants to talk politics, I said, listen, you have your opinion, I have mine, but we're also friends. I can't cross that bridge with you because we're going to fight over somebody who doesn't give a shit about us. We're going to why? You know, are these people directly affecting our lives? No, they're not. They're just public figures. You know, it's like me fighting somebody who's like, I like Biggie, or I like Jay-Z, and we fight over that. Why?
Right, like that passionately.
Right.
But getting ready to kill who? Yeah.
Right, but why fight over it? You know, let's go track for track, or with the government, let's go policy for policy.
I know, right?
Let's go bill for bill. What are we actually trying to do? You know what I mean? And being very vague is not a governmental thing. Like I don't understand throughout these 4 years how not one single piece of legislature or policy has been explained to the point where like, oh, okay, the retard gets it now. I don't say retard, bad word, but or PC nowadays, but you know, they just all need to go away,
right?
And we need to play music.
You know what? Like, I've been listening, and I know it's like whoever's listening to it, it's just like it's really terrible thing to say in the air. I've been listening to a lot of country rock, and but like not country rock, the Christian rock music.
Mm-hmm.
It's really I'm so sorry. I'm sure your like listeners are gonna just go, but because I find it very beautiful.
To be real with you, I have a Christian rock station on at my job when I work.
Okay, so but like I do it by choice.
Right.
You have no choice.
No,
but
I do not.
I do it by choice. I get in my car, put the Christian rock, listen to it, because every word has such a beautiful, peaceful message to it,
right,
and like I'm Jew.
Mm-hmm.
That says it all.
You're crossing state lines.
I am listening to the Christian rock and it's really nice.
Right.
First of all, the music is wonderful.
Yeah.
Secondly, the voices are wonderful, and I love good singing.
Mm-hmm.
And like I love that passes in between of like musical styles that they use.
Right.
And I like the messages. There's
Right.
like all this love. I would rather listen about that love,
Right.
the shit that's going on.
Right.
You know, I have like I'm a big fan of a spoken word.
Yeah.
Actually, you have your tracks. Maybe we'll put in your tracks,
Sure.
and then we'll make a jam.
Like slam poetry is basically what you're talking about.
Yes, like a slam poetry. So you want to put on the track?
I'll put on some tracks. Let's
and
go.
we'll jam.
Let's do this. But keep
But
talking.
you gotta do
keep
it with
talking.
me.
Yeah, of course. You keep talking. Let me get this going.
So, I think like it's the messages that we put on the air.
Mm-hmm.
It stays in the air. You know, I listen to the pop music with all the broken hearts and all the shit that's going on.
Right,
and then
right,
I was
right,
thinking,
right.
I don't want to listen to it anymore.
Right.
But I don't want to listen to any happy music either. I want to listen to something different. So Christian rock did it for me.
You know, there's Christian rap too,
I'm sure.
and it's like the genre is huge. Like I never like I don't understand it because you're talking love, but it's one subject. Like, you know,
Right.
how much can we squeeze out of this? But then again, I think of organized religion, they've squeezed a lot.
They
You know,
through
so
all of
it's
these
like
years.
exactly.
Yes.
So you know, maybe there is something there, but it's like I listen to it every day, and it's like, oh man, like I could jam to some of it. Like if it's got a rhythm, all right, I'll jam with it. But if we're gonna be talking, you know, because shit, I don't want to shit on religion, okay? Like I don't want to shit on Christianity. I don't, okay? It's just that some of the stuff you guys say is weird, and I'm a Jew also. But a lot of stuff that religion says is it. Again, I'm not trying to shit on no one, but some of it's weird.
But see, I wanna oppose that.
Okay.
Because whatever they say it, and it says with the honest heart.
Yes.
You know, and no matter how weird that is,
Well,
the beautiful heart makes it right.
you're right.
You know, and I would listen to it, rather listen to it than that anything else. You know.
Right.
And it just it's some of it is done like I don't like some of the way it's done sometimes because musically it's like all the same. You know, you listen to the like I wish it was more gospely.
Right.
Because like
Gospel, that's a whole
Gospel
different story.
rocks.
That's a whole different
Yes.
story. Gospel, listen.
but it's also have like this as a diversity. I think it's really nice to hear that on the radio.
And you're right. You're right. It's just, and like you said, open heart. Anyone who truly believes, a true believer.
It's my person.
Right. You have to have an open
my
heart.
person,
You
yeah.
literally have to have an open heart. Otherwise, like, the whole thing doesn't work.
To other people too. You have to have an open heart. Like, it's so crazy. Human beings recently are scared of each other.
Yes.
It's like we're scared to get each other sick. We're scared to breathe in each other. We're scared if somebody else is coughing at you.
Right.
We're scared of each other. We're walking around being scared. Blacks are scared of white. White are scared of black. You know, Russians are scared of Russians. Like, everyone's are scared of each other.
Right.
So when Belarus went on the street, not scared of anybody who is hitting them with the flowers, I think that's super people.
It is.
Yeah.
And I said they had a lot, like I said, they had a lot of guts to do what they did. And, I hope they continue to. I hope that the government doesn't continue to do what they're doing. Because as escalations on both sides can turn.
It has to stop. No, we don't. That's the problem. That people of Belarus, they do not fight.
Right.
They let themselves beat up for the cause. They let themselves being killed for the cause, but they do not fight. And they don't have weapons, and they will not get those weapons. They will not,
I mean,
They will fight with politics. They approach all the countries around. Now German councillors are talking, and France. All European countries they bring the attention of Europe.
right.
And they stop working. They stop working. They stop building the economy. They stop being part of the economy because they are the country,
Exactly.
not the president. So if they want to say something, they will stop adding to the economy of the country they are not in and build their own economy with the country they are. So I think I'll drink for that.
Yes, let's
your
do
vodka.
this. Let's do this. Listen, here's to peace in the world. All right? If you can't have it, you must take it. Isn't that like the most counterintuitive thing ever? You know what I mean? But I mean, really, how much can you be oppressed? How much will you take? That's a good song idea. How much will you take?
No oppression, really. Oppression it's a choice. It should be a choice. If you choose to stay under someone who is oppressing you, then you find peace in there. It's fine. But if someone's oppressing you and it's not good for you, yeah.
But I'm putting a little playlist together for us. We're gonna go in here in a minute. Apparently, I'm ready. I can't. I see. The thing is, this girl rocks stages. Me, I rock this camera. So it's like, the level of stage fright's a little different.
So, I'm gonna tell you my story about New York, and so as every musician, you want to be on the stage,
Right.
and you want to be on the stage where your dreams come true,
Right.
and sometimes the stages become a dream. So, for me, the dream was the Carnegie Hall.
Right.
It was my dream since I was a child. Actually, I read somewhere, and I'm a big fan of classical music. I'm a fan of all the music. Apparently, I'm listening to Christian rock right now.
You got every base covered right now.
I've been listening to country last year. My radio goes, oh my God, my radio can hear. Oh, and now I'm a big fan of all the world music. So
Right.
I was listening to all this klezmer, Bukovina, all the Balkan stuff.
Why not?
So, when I was a kid, I read that Peter Tchaikovsky is a great classical composer from Russia.
Mhm.
He opened the Carnegie Hall. He was the first act at the Carnegie Hall. So I was like, oh man, I just felt it. Like I want to feel what he feels.
Right,
I want to feel what
That
it
moment.
Yes, when you actually rock, or just when you actually conduct something on the Carnegie Hall.
Right.
And that was my childhood dream, always. So like when I just came to New York,
Right.
I played this coffee shop bookstore. It's called Blue Stockings Bookstore. It's like a punk rock bookstore in the
Right.
city.
Right.
And of course I looked punk rock with a guitar.
Yeah.
And punk rock meaning I think I was wearing a painter's uniform,
Right.
like all covered with paint. Like the girl stuff.
Right.
And goofy stuff from the concert.
Right.
So because I don't have to really dress up at the bookstores, like dress up, like that was my dress up.
Right.
So I was passing Carnegie Hall on the way out, and I was holding my guitar, and and there's this woman holding tickets, and she's like, "Hey, Handel, you wanna see Handel for like $20?" And I was like, "Man, I have $20.
Right.
What do I have to lose? Yes, I'm dressed up like that.
Right.
So in my painter's uniform,
Right.
I'm going to the Carnegie Hall to see Handels in Christmas.
What?
And everyone's are like, dress up.
Right.
I mean, they're like
suits and dresses and
oh yeah, black tie night, and here I come with my guitar.
How you doing?
Yeah, so I check my guitar, and I can't really take my painter's uniform because there's an overalls. There's nothing there. It'll be even worse. That would be like some kind of like Pussy Riot statement or something.
Are you part of the show?
Right, coming to the Carnegie Hall completely either dress up or naked.
Right.
So I'm sitting there, pretending that I'm so sophisticated in my painter's uniform.
With paint on it.
Yeah, totally, all covered. And this woman in a black dress looking at me like I'm a penguin, and I get it.
Yeah. But in this case, her husband was the penguin. He had the black tie on.
That's right. In my heart, I'm dying. I want to laugh so much because like everyone's looking at me like, and maybe if I dress up, I really don't want to see next to me someone who's like sitting in a painter's uniform. But there are different circumstances. Right. Yeah. So I'm sitting there totally digging the fact that everybody's like.
Mm-hmm.
And then the music started playing, and my heart was like overwhelmed with music, so I didn't really care for what those people are thinking of me. So I'm sitting there crying with the Handel, and they played Hallelujah, and it was like my favorite piece. So I'm crying literally with a painter's uniform, and finished the show. So the show was done. I stood up and everyone went through one door, and the small group of people, including Ellina Graypel, went to a different door because there's like less people. I mean, there's a door and less people. Right. So we going downstairs, and we're going down and down and down. It's like there's like no down. How many? It's like where are we?
How many floors are underneath this thing?
Right. Mm-hmm. So we got lost at the Carnegie Hall. And there's there's just that famous joke, how do you get into Carnegie Hall? And they're like, practice. Exactly. So it's like, how do you get out of the Carnegie Hall?
Stairs.
Because we're like stuck. So finally we're going down for like a long time. And there's one door. So we're like, hallelujah. We just finished the Handel.
I'd be worried after such a long flight of steps. Be like, yo, what the fuck do you keep down here? So we open the door,
and we're like this small group of people, including me, we end up behind the stage of the Carnegie Hall with all the musicians. They just finished playing.
What?
Yeah, I guess we went through the like a.
You straight snuck in the VIP.
Yeah, but I'm wearing this.
Scenes.
I'm wearing this overalls. Yeah. So of course musicians are thinking I'm stage help. So they're like, "Help me with cello." I'm like, easy. No problem.
What?
So I'm pushing that. My guitar is checked. I have no problem. I'm like pushing those cellos and instruments behind the stage and saying to myself, one day I'll be playing on that. I'll be rocking this stage.
All right.
And so 2 years ago, I'm a part of this big Balkan group, the World Ethnic Music, and we have this Gypsy Fest, and I play, I compose because I wanted to be in a Carnegie Hall with my own compositions.
Right.
I don't want to play other people's music. I want to play my music.
Right.
So I got out, and they were like, okay, so let's stage the festival. Where do you organize it? Where do you want to stage the festival? I was like, Carnegie Hall. And they're like, well, it's not going to be that easy because it's a different type of music,
right.
but it's a Carnegie Hall, and they say, we'll try. So I set up all the necessary meetings, and I met a lot of people, and I talked to a lot of promoters, and distributors, and everyone, marketers, and I got myself a show at the Carnegie Hall. So I was thinking, who's going to come to this show, world music at the Carnegie Hall, because I booked the bands like Italian Gypsies came to play with me, and then Bosnian people, Bosnian mountain people came to play, and Ukrainian opera, like
such diversity you had there.
Yeah, because it's a world music, so it's got to be something, and then it was like, probably gonna be a suck show. We probably lose a lot of money and everybody. And then 3 days before, my promoter calls me and he said, Ellina, I'm sorry, but we can't invite any media. I said, why not? Because he said, we sold out. And I was like, the tears came out of my eyes.
So you sold out Carnegie Hall.
I sold out Carnegie Hall with my crazy idea of world music. It was such a, and it was like everyone's were dancing.
Right.
Like Carnegie Hall, they were sitting and clapping, but this time they were on their feet dancing.
Wow, so you really rocked.
I really rocked it, and the ushers, they're like, we never had this type of energy, so awesome. Come back again. And I was like, I felt like it's a world music, it's an ethnic show.
Right.
It's my heritage, Belarus. It's all about world music.
Right.
So I figured, we're gonna start a little different. So I told my musician with me, he plays flute, like a little whistle. And I was like, Max, let's do this. We come from the stage. Everyone's we're seated. We opened the door, we came from the back door with the little flute, like a little whistly flute.
Right.
And then I clap, and the whole like clap with me. So by the time I'm on the stage, everyone's clapping already. It was so cool. And it was just like, I went on the stage, played a song, the show started. And at the time it was finished, 40 people on the stage, and some of the audience members also wanted to jump in because they, those people that are musicians invited their family, and traveling Italian gypsies are gonna be playing on the stage. Traveling Italian gypsies mamas are gonna be dancing right along with them.
Here's to you rocking the Carnegie Hall. Holy shit, that's an accomplishment.
Every musician has to have a story.
Right, but that's so far the story I'm hearing is like getting more awesome with progression. Yeah, you know what I mean? You turn star twice. You're rocking stages all over the world. That's some gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but musicians are true gangster, just in a good way.
True.
Like we're bad, but we're really good at it.
Well, what is a gangster at the end of the day? That's
senor.
It's a very misinterpreted line. Because, you know what I'm saying, like a real gangster just gets it done. Whatever it may be, whether bad or good or indifferent, whether you're hustling or you're trying to survive. We're just, a real one will just do it. And in your case, that's why I called you a gangster, because you did it. Like the goals you set, and it's a very unique thing though, because it doesn't happen for a lot of people. Like I can't say I want to do a comedy show at the Beacon Theater, and then all of a sudden, here I am at the Beacon Theater. No, shit doesn't work that way. So understand it's your talent that got you there. It's your zeal, and it's
it's time, and it's a lot of work.
Shit, people don't understand what it goes into. Like every time I hear a track, any track, I know that within those 3.5 minutes could be anywhere from weeks to months to years in order for those 3 minutes to make your head bop every time. Because like when I used to record guys back in the day, I was like, look, you have to do this shit once. Well, you have to do it once. You can't read. You can't bring your phone in. You can't do this. You have to do it once. Once you do it once, it'll sound good forever. But, some got it, some didn't. But, the live element, like, that's one thing out of, like, my, whatever I'd want to call what I do here. I always missed that live element. I never got out to be on stage. So anyone who's on stage, anyone who pursues it and does it actively, I feel humbled, talking to you that you actually went and did it. Takes a lot of courage to do it too.
Girl, we have a lot of courage.
This is true.
Girls have courage.
Well, let's see. We're gonna put that theory to the test right now. Let's see what kind of courage we got with some of these tracks here. Now, y'all probably heard some of these tracks before. If you want some of these tracks, GodMode Studios, BeatStars.com. Check them shits out. And some of them will be on there. And we're going to see what we can do here. Yo. Yo. I'm just going to keep it off of dead air. Yo. If I got a flow, I'm just gonna freestyle it. Looking all these papers, boy, I can't even write it. I'm trying to think of a verse, but it ain't coming out, so I'm just gonna spit it like a bullet out of barrel mouth. Look, I'm a Brooklyn boy, I'm cooking crack up in the basement with everything, man, so just face it. Look, I gotta get a little more drunk and stoned and high so I can talk to y'all. Peace and bye. Shifted in the first, second, and third on Belt Parkway, son. We puffin' real strong. I'm just making it up, but it's all coming from memory, like actual events that happened. So, what you talking about over there, sitting over in your silver lounge chair? I'm just rhyming words silly now. What you got on this rhyme?
I don't know, but I think I'm gonna talk about love.
Talk to us. Talk to us.
There's so much there's not about love. But they do say when we fall in love, when they say we fall in love, they say I feel like not falling but rising. The changes that comes with me give me a chance that maybe this time I'll be better, wiser. Right. A new day is the beginning of a fresh start, and with that comes a balance of mind and heart. They say we get blinded. We can only see parts of what's happening in reality, but I choose that blindness any day over cruelty, repression, and pain. Cruelty, repression, and pain over and over again. And all that I want to say at the end, that every poet praise love over and over again. Standing a chance to say a cliche in every line, because if you know how to love, you know how to speak your mind. And if you're strong enough not to let it pass, you know, in love, there's only two real choices. It's life and death. It's love and death. So you do the math. Love and death. It's life and death.
Right. Speaking of life and death, right? I took a hook for this from another song, and I just completely butchered it for my own purposes. Let's see if you can tell who this is. Yeah. All around I see familiar faces, worn out places and empty shell casings. As I reload, I will feel no sorrow, 'cause I'm now wishing for tomorrow. It's a mad world. It's a sad world. You know what that is, right? Mad world. Y'all don't know who that is. I can't help you. But it's a sad world. Yeah. All around me, I see these familiar faces. Oh, I got a verse for this. Yeah. Times change, yeah. Look, yeah. Times change. Same names, but different faces. Oh, come on, I gotta remember this. Same face, different places. I can't believe that I'm caught up in this mess. Father Time is taking its toll, and I ain't got no time for the quest. See me on the book, shit, I look like I'm doing well on some real shit. I might be going through hell, like, damn, this is an old verse that I wrote that like just works for this right here, but I gotta remember it. But that hook, like, that's where the piano came from. 'Cause all around I see familiar faces, worn out places, empty shell casings. As I reload, wishing for tomorrow. Is this a mad world? It's a sad world. It's a sad, yeah. Da-na-na. Yeah, so that was a themed piece, but I definitely took that. If you guys played Gears of War, you know exactly where that song came from. Came from their theme music, but yeah. Sicker than the motherfucking kick is square. You dealing with them pros, son, I wouldn't even dare. Son, they trying to contest or resist that flow while I chirp tires on Rovers or Lambos, bro. Got a yacht with hydraulics in it, cruising the oceans, chromed out, smoking weed in it. Pulling to the port and see the body open. Ferrari Testarossa, now a standard option. Man, I'll race a coast to Italy, catch a rally in France. Am I ready to fly with some yak in my glass? Love the way I'm living, hold the stress and pass the chillin', billin', skillin', getting lost in these subliminal feelings. I'm like, pass me a blunt roll far and wide, 16-foot bongs with their own power supplies, a lot of liquor, and them bloodshot eyes, a rip jet blast flow shooting MiGs at the sky. Is everything that we be doing is illegal? I keep it tighter than Bugsy Siegel. 32 revolvers in the back of the Regal. Shit, yo, that's how I'm rolling now. Everything that we be doing is illegal. Everything that we be doing is illegal. Everything that we be doing is illegal. Yo, look, I said, the truck goes down, baby, doors come up. All my Brooklyn soldiers, raise them blunts up. Shit, I'm open for business anytime you may want or need. We'll get you a pack, we'll get you a fucking seat. Pass me like 6 or 7, let me check on how to cushion the diesel or fucking selling men the shit that we be pushing. Man, I send you straight to heaven, baby, hyper elevated, conversating with an angel. It's everything that we be doing is illegal. I keep it tighter than Bugsy Siegel. 32 revolvers in the back of the Regal. Oh shit, man, that's how I'm rolling now. Everything that we be doing is illegal. That's the first song I wrote. That's the first lyrics I ever wrote. Was that? Oh my god, that's old. So old. This track, this next one, I have a favorite producer. If anyone knows The Alchemist. If you don't, you should. So this one I kind of based off of his style. Alk, I know I'm nowhere near you, but why not? Alright, I gotta do some New York shit. Yo. It's that New York, New York. It's that New York, New York. The other side. Yo. It's that New York, New York, baby, straight out the rotten. Listen to these shook motherfuckers, guess they forgotten. Bronx invented hip-hop, New York called it rap flow. Was bought, paid, copywritten, timestamped, reinforced. We moving volumes through the city, call it MTA. My underground on politic, they'll pull up and spray. King of New York's the Empire State, and anybody can test that, catch a stray. Cause my flow's from the Russian gutter. My instincts involve me with criminal come-ups, it's all relevant. Cause my infection is eminent. Soon you're gonna find a little mo pie in your jeans. I hope you read between the seams, homie. Johnny is coming and I'm bringing the devil's army. So the have-nots are taking everything we ever wanted, right? And if not, we drop shell. It's that New York, New York. It's that New York, New York. Alright, I'm doing all this rapping. Let's go. What do you got for me?
Me?
Speech!
And I'll do something different.
Do it.
Yeah. Ready for some Russian language?
Let's go. Oh shit, Россия.
Are they ready for it?
I ain't worried about them. I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's go.
Когда нет сил, чтобы задумываться о хорошем, и мы не знаем, что мы в этой жизни можем, и нет путей продуманных, одни дороги, и все кричат тебе, что волка кормят ноги. Сердца чернеют, потому что красным быть не модно, и мы за деньги и за славу будем кем угодно. Но когда ночью только я одна и звезды, Я говорю себе, проснись, тебе еще не поздно.
Oh, yo, you dropping bombs, bro. Listen, y'all need to translate that. Run it through Google Translate. Y'all like it. I promise you that. And I stepped out of the norm on this one just because it is sample. I like the run of it because it makes you feel like you're running. Remember those old jogging commercials? Tracks like I don't even have anything to say. Let's just sit there and jam with this. This is how we use podcast dead air. We're just gonna dance. All right,
I'm down.
Let's go. They're like, what the fuck are we watching?
There's been a lot of Smirnoffs here.
It's all right. And we're only on our first one. We're being nice. Are you sitting nice? Because unofficial sponsor. Give me free shit or money. One of the only feel goods I've done for a while. Because usually, like, I'm in kind of angry kind of dude with the music, but this one just makes you chill. Like, I always see myself like driving through the city, sunroof open, or on the bike. You know what I mean? Just watching.
Yeah, we have a beautiful city. New York is a beautiful city. At night, in the daytime. Oh, we have to go back to our beautiful city that never sleeps.
Nope.
We're used to it. We're spoiled.
This pandemic hasn't done shit. We're still just who we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I think this track, somebody pulled me over for this. I don't even like this old head. Just pulled his car up in front of me. He goes, "Who made that track, bro? Where's the name?" I said, "I did." "You made this instrumental?" Like, yeah, bro. How can I find you? Say, YouTube, man. We gotta drive. We're at a red light, bro. Like, I can't talk to you right now, but like, for some reason, this one got him. Again, most of the time it's the samples. When I hear these samples, this has that soul feel to it. Y'all know this because y'all watch me make all these tracks here. And if you haven't, scroll down a list a little bit. Every song I'm playing, I have made right here. In fact, this one I even did with a verse and a hook on this machine, which you're not supposed to do, apparently. They're like, record with this, use Pro Tools. I said, but it has inputs. Like, I can input a mic into here. I can sample through here. Why can't I? So I decided to do something like this. This is Mr. Grim drop bars. Never mind the battle scars. The money of these fancy cars. I'm from the source code borough, where we outsource the code with heavy guns and bundles. You see the Brooklyn plunders. Take whatever we want. Jack moving with automatics and never really talk about it. See me, boy, I'm trying to get mine. Swine to never catch a boy from Brooklyn alone. Nobody drop a dime. And after the gig, barrels I'll shine with 1,000 grits. So ballistics never match mine. Son, I'm on the paper chase. Come around the corner and something that give them raisin face. I know you
factory. Produce rappers manufactured type rapidly, like an automated tragedy. Back in the days, Brooklyn would've put them in the bag with a cat and a rat and sunk they ass for heresy. Hoodie up while I'm doing my two-step, trying to chase this paper down. Hoodie up doing my two-step. Hoodie up while I'm doing my two-step, trying to chase this paper down. Hoodie up doing my two-step.
And then I left an empty verse in case somebody was brave.
Don't look at me.
I have to. Let's see what else I could find. There's many things I could find. But in the meantime, tell me more crazy stories. What was the craziest performance you've ever pulled off? Like, meaning, like, where you looked at it and you go, this shit is crazy. Like there's people hurting themselves. Like, what, you know, while you're playing. Like, what was the craziest thing that, like, went down while you were on stage?
Okay. So I'm in Boston, playing a show.
In Boston.
In Boston, yes. and there's a security and everything, but there's this girl come out from the back, standing next to me, and singing in a microphone with me. And I'm like, what the hell? The security is staying. They have no idea that this girl doesn't belong.
It's not part of the group.
No, not part of the group.
Shit.
So I'm singing, and I can't stop singing. I can't tell her to
Yeah.
get the hell, get this woman out of the stage, Right. So I'm looking at the security, but I can't stop singing. I have to, like, sing.
Right.
So it's like I'm very intense. I'm, like, on the stage singing, and this chick is also singing my stuff. And she's drunk out of her mind. She's like, she's enjoying it. The security is, like, not paying attention.
Oh,
so
no.
I'm like,
so what'd you do?
well, eventually he got to the point that this chick does not belong to our band, when she started falling on the stage.
You didn't just do this number?
I don't know,
Maybe we could do a little dive.
Yeah.
But that must have been, oh my God, in the moment. But, like, she was singing your stuff, though. I mean.
Yeah, so totally off keys and completely drunk. And
so she was butchering your stuff.
Big time. Big time. I'm getting ready to no.
No, you're getting ready to no.
Yeah.
No. Me, it's always yes. Y-E-S, yes. Anyway, so that was the craziest.
That was goofy. That was recent. So that's something that I don't wanna experience. But oh man.
How about positive crazy?
Positive crazy. I'm giving you another crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm playing Atlanta. That was last year, and right before the show, like in New York, I have this cat that it's like this is very, very unfriendly cat, and I believe that I get everything really friendly next to me. Nothing could be unfriendly in my house
except this cat.
Yeah, the cat is really rude.
Does it like you or just everyone else that's mad at?
No, he was just mad, and
Okay.
but then we figured out why he was mad, but now he's a sweetheart. It just took me a while to get him into a sweetheart mode.
Huh.
So right before going on the road, this cat bites me. And it's like big bite, and when cat bites you need antibiotics and stuff.
No shit.
So I go to the doctor, they give me the vaccine and get the antibiotic,
Oh my God.
and I get in the bus and go on tour.
That cat did not want you to go anywhere.
16 hours driving, they drive, but I'm still in a car for 16 hours, so after 16 hours, I'm realizing I'm not feeling that hot, but I have to go on the stage. I have to play a show in Atlanta,
Right.
and I'm really not feeling that hot, I'm like, so I start drinking water, and I drank maybe like 7 bottles of water right before the concert.
Oh shit.
7 bottles of water. And I was like, by the time I'm coming on the stage, I am really not myself. And I have to rock that lung because it's like filled with people.
Oh
A lot of people came to that show. For Atlanta, we are like a big act.
Right.
And just we're a big act. We're supposed to play nicely, you know.
Right.
But I'm like, all antibiotics with the shot and driving for 14 hours. I am really not feeling that hot.
Cat fucked you up.
Really fucked me up. So I get on the stage. I have to put myself together. It's like no matter what, you have to perform, and you have to. The show must go on.
Never let them see you bleed.
No, you can never let them see you bleed. So I play the show. I put everyone on their feet. The Atlanta is happy, jumping around, very happy. The show finished.
And Atlanta is one of those places that you can't, like, they'll let you know if you're fucking up.
Yeah, we got Atlanta talking about it, still talking. They just invited me to come back whenever the crazy stuff is over.
Right.
At least in December, I know I'm going to Florida, but before December, I don't even know.
Right.
I've started booking next year. So I get off the stage, shook everybody's hands, get in the car, and of course the cat messed me up. So I was like, my musicians put me on in their arms. They carried me.
But you rocked the stage,
I rocked the stage. As soon as I get off, I'm a girl. I'm Ellina. With the antibiotics and the 8 bottles.
But you survived the show. That's the craziest part.
We survived the show.
But you rocked it, and afterwards you collapsed. That's gangster. Again.
I collapsed so badly that my musicians are like, what are we gonna do with you? Are you gonna die?
Oh, Jesus.
Not today. Not today.
Tomorrow doesn't look good neither.
Okay, fine. Tomorrow we're not gonna die either.
No.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yep.
I'm like really enjoy tonight.
I did too.
And having this underground Brooklyn that's what underground Brooklyn is all about.
You're in the underground. You're right now, with all your fame, you have now scraped the bottom of the list.
I'm down.
We are the 1%ers, and I'm king shit of Turd Mountain of the bottom of the list. And that's where I'll be. That's my spot. I reversed it on you. But thank you so much for coming on tonight. Like,
thank you,
so dope. And I'll see y'all later. Peace, bitches.